F1 the movie is directed by Joseph Kosinski and is written by Aaron Kruger, the writer who brought us... Oh no. Oh no. Oh. Oh fuck. In this film stars Brad Pitt, a Formula 1 driver who comes out of retirement to mentor a team up with a younger driver. I'm sure this film will be compared to a lot of sports films. I'm sure it will be even compared to Top Gun Maverick because it basically has the same story structure about a guy who's eccentric, he's not a team player, and has to learn to be one. And he has this rivalry with another guy who's younger than him or maybe even better than him in some things. But I think this film relies on the execution. No matter how similar is your plot or your story to other movies, what matters is execution. And when it's about the execution of F1, I will say that it's very investing to a point that you think a character might have met his end. And I thought the movie was gonna become very unpredictable from then on, because I was like, oh shit, like this was actually very formulaic, but now it's different. And then it's not different. And it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying this is bad. I'm saying this is actually great because it means that I was genuinely so invested that I thought the character might have been done. And that was really cool. This movie is extremely entertaining, guys. This is a 2 hour and 35 minutes long film? Wow. I thought walking out of the film that I just watched a 2 hour and 15 minutes something. It's a 2 hour and 35 minutes long film. I cannot believe it. It felt shorter than that. And I think one of the things that makes this film so smart is that from the first act, we meet the characters through their actions, not through their past or what they're saying, you know? Yeah, the character Brad Pitt definitely has a past that definitely remind me of the character of Moneyball. Throughout their actions, you get to know them. And sometimes Brad Pitt does some things that you're like, why did you do that? I thought you were different than this guy. And then you realize why he does it. Near the third act of the film, then we have a scene where he's explaining his backstory to Kerry Condon's character and all that stuff, and gets sentimental and that shit. But the film already did his job with setting up the character with his actions. And that was really cool. That was really awesome. And that helped the pacing a lot. The racing sequences are incredible. Although I'm sure a lot of people will say that this is 100% practical. That Brad Pitt really drove those cars and all the scenes that he's driving are 100% realistic. Yeah, Brad Pitt drove some of these cars, of course, but I'm sure there's a lot of CGI. In fact, there's a lot of names in the credits of VFX animators. So there's a lot of CGI, and I'm sure a lot of people, unfortunately in the reviews, I hope that this doesn't happen, but I'm sure that a lot of people will say that this is all practical. And I'm sure there was a lot of CGI. There's a channel called The Movie Rabbit Hole. I really suggest you to watch all of his reviews. He basically explains how the producers and filmmakers of some movies like Top Gun Maverick, which is the same film Joseph Kosinski directed, basically promote their films as 100% practical, and they never recognize the CGI animators. And I find that to be disrespectful, and I think that they should be praised because all the shots in this film look 100% real. And that's how the shots of Top Gun Maverick looked, 100% real. But there are some shots in Top Gun Maverick that look like that, but are 95% CGI. So here in this review, I'm taking the responsibility to praise the CGI animators. You did an excellent job with this film. But back to those racing sequences, they're incredible. They're truly immersive. Joseph Kosinski knows how to direct a movie. And there's a lot of racing though. There's a lot of racing, which surprised me the most. It's not just 3 or 5 racing sequences. There are a lot of them. Most of the film is just racing and racing. But the character work is really great. The character GP, played by Damson Idris, it's an asshole. And I don't mean like a funny asshole that like he says something and everybody in the audience laugh at. No, this is an unlikable asshole. And this probably was the biggest gamble of this film because basically he's the Miles Teller character of Top Gun Maverick. So he's basically like the second protagonist of this. What's even funnier is that as the movie goes on and we get to know more of Brad Pitt's character, JP's character becomes even more unlikable. I mean, he has everything to be a villain. He treats everybody horribly. He's like a diva and he's even a mama's boy. I mean, he has everything to be this film's villain. That makes the arc of these characters even more powerful. Because like I said, the themes of these films is not something that will surprise you. It's about teamwork. Obviously, of course. During the opening credits of this film, I was like, this music is too good. This has to be a great composer. And yeah, this name came up on screen. It makes completely sense. I have issues with the film. The TV commentators basically have voiceover in this film. Like most sports films, always the commentators are basically they voiceover not just to explain to the audience in their reality, but also to the audience in real life. In this one, I felt that they were very unnecessary for most of the time. In fact, I thought they were very annoying because I just wanted to hear the engines of the cars. And a lot of times, they were explaining things that just with the visuals and the dialogue were already being explained. And I didn't need them. You know, they were explaining, oh, this is happening to the Brad Pitt character. But it's like, yeah, I know, I'm watching it. Why you have to tell me this? And it felt annoying because I just wanted to hear the engines. I just wanted to hear what Brad Pitt's character was hearing. That's easily my biggest issue when it's about the action sequences, the racing sequences in this film. The commentators basically were the main sound for a lot of times. And like I said, they were just unnecessary for most of that time. The other issue is that there's a change done to the characters that I was expecting because, like I said, this film is about development with these two characters. I was expecting that change, but near the third act, that change happens, and it makes sense. I'm sure a lot of people will feel it. I didn't. I felt it was abruptly told. It makes sense. It's good. I'm satisfied. I just didn't feel it. I thought it was very quick. That's my two issues with the film, honestly. I think this is a very powerful one, not just because of the teamwork themes, but also because there's a moment in the last racing sequence that I felt so connected with the film because if you love sports or you love art or something like that, you really literally adore it. Like you say like that's my life. You will understand what Brad Pitt's character feels in that sequence because I actually write screenplays. I don't know if you know this. But there was this time that I was writing a scene and it was so good. The scene was going so well and I wasn't thinking anymore about if I was doing it right or wrong. I was just like in heaven. I felt like in heaven because it was so good and I was doing it so quick and I was so excited, you know? I call it heaven. This movie calls it flying, and there's this little moment in the last race that Brad Pitt's character feels like that. And I thought it was very accurate of how it feels when you're doing something that you love so much and you're not like finding the logic if you're doing it well or if you're doing it horribly. You're just doing it and you're doing it so well that you feel basically that you're in heaven. I'm gonna give F1, the movie, a 9 out of 10. These weeks are gonna be very busy, guys. The next week is gonna be Jurassic World Rebirth, which, whatever, but next week, the other week, in 2 weeks, Superman, my most anticipated film of the year. I'm gonna watch it on July 8th. On 4D, in 4D. Oh shit, on 4D. Oh, that's gonna be amazing. And then, wait, there's an ambulance. Wait. Save that dead guy. Move. This seat is going to shit. And the next week is Fantastic Four. So look forward to those videos, to those reviews, guys. As always, thank you for watching and take care of your time.